Hey everyone, this is Sandip back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to start working on a really important, I would say, one of the website which is really popular, which everyone wants. I mean, if you're a freelancer or if you're a software engineer, right, and you want to tell about yourself. So this is more of a portfolio website which we are going to make. So I'm going to make series of videos. So this is the first video in this series, and I'll be making small videos so that you'll get more videos, to practice instead of making a big video which takes some time. I'm thinking of making a small video. So today's video is the first part. This video will be divided into multiple parts, and we're going to build incrementally a portfolio website which is a pretty useful website if you're a freelancer or if you're a software engineer. It's like a online resume for yourself. So let's jump into the video directly. So we're going to start first of all with the project setup. So we're going to make project. So I'm going to just start with creating. Straight away we're going to jump into the code. We're going to write a lot of code, and I would suggest you write you code along with me. That's why channel name is Code with Sandip. So you need to code with me. So I'm going to name this folder. What should I name? So I'm going to name this folder as a portfolio website, basically. So we are making a portfolio website. So portfolio website. And I'm going to open this folder into my favorite code editor, which is Visual Studio Code. You can use any code editor. You can use even Notepad. I mean, you can write all of these things into Notepad also. So I'm going to start from scratch. This is some of the practice I did. So I'm going to open the folder called portfolio websites. I'll go into Code with Sandeep, and I have inside that probably I have a folder called YouTube, and I'm going to open this folder here. So it's just an empty slate. We're going to start from scratch, and the two most important files which we are going to need, the first one is obviously we need to create the HTML file. So I'm going to create a new HTML file called index.html. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm going to click here, index.html. So this is my normal HTML files. I'm going to just put some HTML template here, and as this is a portfolio, just going to put my name here. So I'm making a portfolio website for myself. Now this video is going to help you learn HTML, CSS and bit of JavaScript. I'm going to focus most of the part into flexbox. So you're going to become very good in flexbox after following this series of videos. So my first file is ready. I'm just going to put some heading here. Maybe I'll put some h1 tag and just write my name for now. Close this one, and the next file that you're going to need is index.css. And for now I'm going to just keep the empty file. Let's connect the HTML with CSS. I'm just going to use the link tag here, and inside here in the href I'm just going to point to my index.css file. So far so good. I think I have my setup. The folder structure ready. I have the HTML file, I have the CSS file ready, I have the folder structure ready. I'm going to run my HTML file into live server, and this is going to open my website, my portfolio website, which is just my name, into Chrome. But I'm not going to use Chrome. I'm going to close this one. So I've just copied this link, and I'm going to close my Chrome browser, and I'm going to use Firefox Developer Edition. So I'm just going to open Firefox Developer Edition. If you want to download this Firefox Developer Edition, just go to Google, search for the Firefox Developer Edition, and just go ahead and download this. This is pretty good browser for developers. So I'm running my project inside Firefox. Next, I think when we want to start with any website, right, first of all we need to make some decisions around around the colors, right? We need to make some decisions around which fonts I'm going to use. So I'm going to start with fonts first. So I'm going to use Chrome for that. I'm going to open Chrome and I'm going to use Google Fonts. So I'm going to search for Google Fonts. And I know like which fonts I'm going to use for my portfolio website. I have already decided that. And those fonts are these two fonts. So first of all, I'm going to remove this actually. Hold on. So I want to remove this, remove all, and I would say remove this one also. And we're going to start from scratch. The fonts which I'm going to use, I'm going to search for those fonts. The first font which I'm going to use is Oswaldi. I don't know how to pronounce it. So this one, I'm going to add this font. So probably I'll go with this style, this style. Let's go with this one and this one also. And probably I'll go with the 700 one. So this is one of the font which I need. So you see here, right? This font family, this font has been added and I got a link which I can copy and paste inside my HTML file. Okay, so I'm going to use import, basically this import. And another font which I'm planning to use is this one. Which one? I'm going to search for that one too. So I need to go back to my fonts again, I think. So probably I can click here. And next font that I'm going to use is EB. I've just made some notes around it. EB Garamond. This one. This is also beautiful fonts. I'm going to use this one, this one. Let's go with the finded one, this italic one, and let's go with the 700 and this italic also. So I have my import ready. I have both the fonts, this EB Garamond and I have the Oswald font also. I'm just going to import. So I'm going to just copy this one, this import from here, and I'll go back to my project and inside my index.css, I'm just going to paste it. So now I have the fonts here, but if I go back to my application and if I refresh, I don't see anything because the font, I haven't assigned any font to my application. Okay, so to do that, basically, we're going to start, first of all, we're going to start with a reset inside my CSS. So I'm going to use the universal selector and I'm just going to put the margin as 0. I'm going to say padding also as 0. So this is the universal selector. The star is nothing but a universal selector. And I'm saying, hey HTML. So I'm targeting all the HTML elements. So I'm saying make their margin as 0 and their padding as 0. And if I go back now, you see here, right, this h1. So whatever margin this h1 had, it's gone, right? So basically I'm targeting all the elements. Right now I have only h1, but I'm saying all the elements, div, h1, anchor tag, paragraph, all the tags basically. So this is like quite a simple reset which you can write. And you just need to write star, margin and padding. I'm making it as 0. The next thing which I really like, so right now if I go back to my application, and if I look at the font size, right, so right by default, whenever any website it opens into the browser, be it Chrome, Firefox or Internet Explorer, I'm supposing it's 16 pixel, right? That font size is always 16 pixel. But I want to start with some base font size, and that base font size would be 10 pixel. Now why 10 is a really easy number to remember, and I'm going to use rems. Rem is one of the CSS unit which I'm going to use throughout the website or throughout this portfolio website. That's why I wanted to make the 16 rounded to 10, so that when I say one rem, it will be 10 pixel. So to do that, I'm going to say body. So I'm targeting the body element, and I'm just going to say font size of 62.5%. And this actually makes the font size to 10, and I'll show you that. So now if I refresh here, you see here, right, 62.5. Now 62.5 is nothing but 10 pixel. I mean, if you open the calculator and do the calculation, you'll get the idea, right? It rounds to that number, that 10 pixel value. Okay, so font size, the base font size which I would like to go ahead with S62.5. This is nothing but 10 pixels. So I'm just going to put some comments here. 10 pixels, something like this. Okay, moving on. So I had my CSS reset, I have my body, but there is one more concept which I would like to explain in this video, which we call box sizing. Now this property is really important, and I'm going to explain it with a simple example here. So let's go ahead with say suppose I'm going to create two div element here. So this is my div 1, and I'm going to create another div, and I'm going to call it 2. So I have two different divs here. I'm going to go to my CSS, and I'm going to target the div element, div, and I'm going to style it. Basically, I'm going to give my div a width of 150 pixel and a height of, maybe let's go with 200 pixel for now. And now if I go back, I see the two different divs. Let's go with 150 only. So 150, and maybe I'll go with a width of 200. I'm going to target the div 1. So I'm going to give it a class name. This is my div 1, and let's give it class name of div 2. I'm going to target those divs separately. So div dash 1, and I'm doing some mistake maybe. Okay, so div 1, and let's say I'm going to give this one a background color of aqua, and let's target the div dash 2, and I'm going to give it a background color, say I'll go with the brown. And now if I go back, you see that, right? I have two different div, width 200 pixel, height 150 pixel, 200 pixel, height 150 pixel. So go back, go and inspect this one, right? You see here, right? 150, 150. Right, it's 150, 150, I think. Okay, I use 150, 150 only. So maybe I'll go ahead with 200 pixel height. Okay, sorry, width. So I got two divs, one with 200 pixel width. Both of them will be are 200 pixel width and 150 pixel height. Now, if I target the div 1, okay, and if I give it a margin of say 20 pixel, you're going to see something which is going to happen, right? So instead of margin, I'm going to use padding. Let's use padding. See that? This div 1 got expanded, it got bigger in size. The actual width of this div is actually 200 pixel, but when I inspect this element here, and if I see here, its width is 200 pixel, but because of the padding, that 20 pixel padding, its width got increased to 240 pixel basically. And I don't want it happen, I want to control my element size based on their content width, and we can do that. There is a solution for that, right? Because I don't know like what margin, what padding I'm putting in. Because of that, I don't want my boxes to have kind of weird sizes, right? And I want to control the size. So basically whatever we lay out in HTML, in CSS, right, everything in CSS is like a box. If you heard of a box model, right? So I want to control the width and height of each individual box. To do that, we're going to use one property. This is again a part of my reset only. That property is called box sizing. So right now the default value of box sizing is content box. So when we say content box, margin, padding, or border, anything that increases the size of that box, and I don't let it happen, right? I want to control. So whatever width I have given here, whatever height I have given here, that should be the width and height of my box. And to do that, we can use something called a border box. I'm going to use box sizing the value as border box. Now if I go back and refresh, you see that now what did I do? Now basically the width and height of my content, right? It's it's in it's in control. It's in my control. You see here, right? It's 200 and 150 only, and that padding it has been adjusted inside the content width. That's the beauty of the border box. Now, say suppose even if I target my div 1, and if I give it a border, say of 5 pixels solid, and maybe I'll go with a red color for now. And if I say I'm going to go back, see that the border is also coming inside the content. It's part of content only. So I know I can trust using this box sizing as a border box property. I know my boxes, each individual box inside my application is going to be of same size. So this is really important, and this is a really small reset you will ever need in any project, I would say, right? And finally, let's test the font also. I think we're using some font, this one and this one, right? So I'll go back to my Chrome and let's test our fonts also. So it might have given some font families. I'm just going to try to use whether the fonts are getting applied or not. And so I'm going to remove this divs. I don't need that. So let me remove the divs, and I'm going to put the h1 here with my name. And let me put one paragraph with low rem of 15, probably 15, 13, anyways. So I have my h1 and paragraph, so I'm going to remove these divs also. I'm going to target my h1 and I'm going to paste. So for h1, I'll use this one, Postwald, as a font family, and for paragraph, I'm going to use the second one, which is this one. I'm going to save, and now if I go back to my application, see that I can see the fonts are getting applied. So I think this is what I wanted to cover in the first part of the video. We have our project set up. We're going to use Firefox Developer Edition. I'm using the Google fonts. We have our CSS reset also ready here, right? And we have our index.html file. I've explained about box sizing also. This is really important concept of having or using the border box, and the font size, which is 10 pixel. And I'm going to use rem value so that 10, so say suppose I give a value of 2 rem to something, it's basically 20 pixel. That's why I'm using the 62.5 percentage value here. So I think I'm going to stop here. This is first part of the video. I think we had a great start, and you code along with me. That's how it is going to help, and you will once we finish all the videos in this series, you will be having a portfolio website ready, which you can use for yourself. You can publish it on the web, which others can see. So I'm going to take a pause here. I'm going to stop here. I'll see you in the next video. I highly encourage, I'm going to upload all of these files on GitHub. I'm going to share that link in the description of this video. Please go through it. Please code along, and I'm going to see you in the next video.